Hi, this is Christian, and welcome back to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news. Coming your way, Week 2 predictions. It's a battle of two NFC heavyweights in Atlanta, Georgia at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome when the Green Bay Packers take on the Atlanta Falcons. Now, a pair of strip sack fumbles by defensive ends on the Packers and Falcons respectively helped them propel them to Game 1 wins. For the Packers, it was a big player, Mike Daniels, and he had a strip sack inside the 10 against Russell Wilson, which set up the Packers' first touchdown, a Ty Montgomery 6-yard run, and that propelled the Packers to a 17-9 win over the Seattle Seahawks. And for the Atlanta Falcons, it was a surprisingly competitive game against the Chicago Bears. And it came down to a fourth down when Mike Glennon was sacked by Brooks Reed, a defensive end, and that helped the Falcons secure their 1-0 season opener win. And it was a very interesting game for both teams. Defensively for the Green Bay Packers, they looked to improve. And for the Falcons, well, they didn't have the best offensive showing, but they still scored 23 points against the Bears, who are also improved on defense. So, pretty good signs for both teams. Overall in this game, I think the Falcons will play very well in their new stadium, obviously motivated by that, but ultimately I think the Green Bay Packers are going to come into Atlanta and get the big upset over the Falcons who beat them last year. Dylan's prediction is the Green Bay Packers. Familiar foes clash as the Buffalo Bills take on the Carolina Panthers at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, the Bills and the Panthers don't play often, but for the Buffalo Bills, well, they're called the Carolina North right now. They have Sean McDermott, who was the former defensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, now the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. They also have Brandon Beane, an assistant GM down in Carolina, now in Buffalo as their general manager. And they also have some Carolina players as well that Sean McDermott acquired via free agency, and Mike Tolbert after he was released by the Panthers, as well as Philly Brown. He actually got cut. And then also they have Joe Webb, a backup quarterback who the Panthers also cut. So a lot of familiarity there. And so for the Bills to win this game, they're going to need Shady McCoy and a lot of it. The Panthers played very impressive on defense. Luke Kuechly recorded an interception against Brian Hoyer last week. And so the Panthers look to have another top 10 defense this year with some young talent on the defensive backside with two corners, Daryl Worley and James Bradbury. And Cam Newton will need to get going for the Panthers on offense. He looked a little rusty with his shoulder surgery, but hopefully another day for him can get the Panthers back on track for their season opener at home. Overall, this should be a very entertaining game, but ultimately I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to get the job done at home. Dylan's prediction is the Carolina Panthers. It's a great Monday night football matchup when the Detroit Lions take on the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. Now, I would say I was wrong about the New York Giants and the Detroit Lions. The Giants look pretty anemic on offense, and even though it was the first game, there are some struggling concerns for them. Of course, they didn't have Odell Beckham Jr., who's struggling with a sprained ankle and may not be back for a few more weeks, depending on how the severity of the ankle is. The timetable was 6 to 8 weeks, according to Beckham, but who knows, he might be back early. And for the Detroit Lions, well, they look better than advertised. Kenny Golladay dominated, already following up from his preseason performance in which he had a couple of touchdowns and had 2 touchdowns in the season opener against Arizona. And Matthew Stafford, well, just another fourth quarter comeback for him. And they ended up destroying the Cardinals in the fourth quarter for the Lions to advance to 1-0 on the season. Now the Giants really need this win. Falling back 0-2 in the NFC East, well, that's not going to cut it. The Philadelphia Eagles are much improved, the Redskins are still hanging around, and the front runner currently, the Dallas Cowboys, are still playing at a pretty high level. So right now, the Giants probably need this win a little bit more than the Detroit Lions, but I think that the Lions, they're playing a lot better football right now, and I think they come into MetLife and take down the New York Giants. Dylan's prediction is the New York Giants. In the last spotlight game of the week, it's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, for the Minnesota Vikings, they looked like one of the most impressive teams in Week 1, completely dominating the New Orleans Saints on all sides of the ball. Offense, defense, and special teams, they showed up big. Sam Bradford looks legit, and even though Teddy Bridgewater's still unhealthy, of course, I think Sam Bradford could step in and do a great job this season. And remember that last season, he was traded at the end of the preseason, so didn't really have enough time to work in the offseason program and was just learning the playbook. So now in his first full season as a Viking, who knows, the Minnesota Vikings could be the next breakout team. And of course, Stephon Diggs, he had a breakout performance as well. Dalvin Cook running the show from Florida State, and now in Minnesota, he's been playing very well. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, well, it wasn't the most impressive showing from Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers, but it was efficient. Of course, AB, Antonio Brown, had another dominating performance against the Cleveland secondary. And even though Cleveland impressed me, the Steelers did on both sides of the ball as well. And at home, the Steelers should be much improved. The Minnesota Vikings, though, are not to be messed with. And I think this will be one of the most competitive games in Week 2. But overall, when it comes down to it, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers at home will get the job done. Dylan's prediction is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So you better not be the one to doubt us, 'cause we gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. Okay, whoa. We've been on the road from the go. Hit my blow. You know we've been down for too long to give up. Can't go. I need all pesos, want it all. Case closed. I go balls to the wall, can't hold to the ball game over. These boys can't hold me. You boys can't hold us. I told you. Better not be the one to doubt us, 'cause we've been putting in the hours. We only taking what was ours. So you better not be the one to doubt us, 'cause we gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. We gon' blow your mind. When I was back home washing them dishes, I was just wishing I could just vision. I was gon' get it, I was on missions, I was just living. Walked in that building, we was just building, taking our time. We was just yielding, we was just chilling. Away from these haters, know they be watching like a theater. Plotting these niggas that we need later. They gon' degrade us, it won't delay us. This is what made us. We got Omega, probably roll Vega. Probably just leave. I see you later. I salute Wega, cop a new crib, got some new neighbors. You get this big, they gon' want favors, they gon' want flavors. Probably roll paper. Hope the Lord save us, wait from these haters. Hope the Lord save us, wait from these snakes, wait from these fakes. Wait, I need breaks, wait, I need cake. How long can we wait? Come on, for peace sake. You better not be the one to doubt us, 'cause we've been putting in the hours. We only taking what was.
Wow, what a performance for the player of the week, Sam Bradford. Bradford was carving up the New Orleans defense. Yeah, I know, that's not hard to do, but seriously, Bradford and the Vikings look to be a legit team, and Bradford looks to be a legit quarterback. With Stephon Diggs, a great running back, and Dalvin Cook, the rookie, I think the Minnesota Vikings could be that sleeper team that could go all the way to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I know it's early, but Bradford, you're the player of the week. Congratulations. It was the first week of the NFL season. Woo, we're finally here and it's finally over with, on to week 2. But first, let's take out a recap of the week 1 scores. It started out on Thursday, September 7th, when the Kansas City Chiefs upset the Patriots and their opening banner debut with the score of 42-27. Some other notable games include the NFC East battle between the Philadelphia Eagles handling the Washington Redskins at FedEx 30-17, the Raiders and Titans in a potential playoff game 26-16, the Jaguars upset over the Houston Texans 29-7, another fourth quarter comeback from the Lions 35-23 over the Cardinals, The Falcons' late win over the Chicago Bears, 23-17. Panthers and Cam Newton handling the 49ers, 23-3. The Cowboys over the Giants, 19-3. And then a last-second field goal block by Shelby Harris propelled the Denver Broncos over the Chargers, 24-21. The upset of the week was Chiefs versus Patriots, and the game of the week was Chargers versus the Broncos. My prediction record for this week was a subpar 7-8 because of the bye week. We didn't have the Dolphins versus the Buccaneers game, and Dylan had a pretty solid record of 10-5 for week 1. In week 3 through week 8 of the NFL season, NFL Updates Express will be Instagram only as part of the Murica Man media takeover on Instagram. So make sure to follow NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news, only on Instagram for weeks 3 through 8.
Searching for your wrist and this don't ever deny. I'm like a stranger, give me danger, all you're wrong and you're right. Secrets on my way to the freeway, you're a kid.